What's going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great evening. I know I am. It's Friday night. The work week is over. I don't have to go back to work for 3 more days, and I am loving that. I'm missing my family. It's been over a week now that they've been gone. Getting kind of lonely. I miss my kiddos' voices running around the house, and my wife snuggled up next to me on the couch, but what can you do? They're having a good time back home, so I'm happy for them, and I'm looking forward to them being home. But that being said, I got a couple comments on my video about the Hypr Window Manager that I just put out, and they asked if I was going to be doing another video with a completed configuration and to check how much memory it uses. So here we are. This is my quote-unquote completed configuration. This isn't set up like my other machine to where I could, where I've got all my scripts on it and all that, but it is set up to where if I wanted to just jump in this and use it on an everyday basis, I could. It's got all the stuff I really need that I could think of moved over onto it and installed just like it would be a working machine. But like I said, I didn't transfer all my scripts, and I haven't downloaded or cloned all my Git repositories or anything like that onto it. It's just configured and usable and ready to go. That being said, let's go ahead and jump into the configuration file. So as you can see, I got the nice little banner that I like to do at the top here. It's kind of reminiscent. It reminds me of junior high and high school when you'd use the brown paper grocery sack and make textbook covers out of it. Might be aging myself here a little bit, but use it to make covers for your textbooks so you didn't ruin the school books, and then you drew all over it and put all kinds of stuff on it. That's kind of what I've done on my scripts here, or on my configuration files here with this banner. I just kind of doctored them up a little bit, made them my own. I know it's kind of pointless and it doesn't really do anything, doesn't help, but I like it. So anyway, that being said, I have this set obviously as gaps. As you can see with the highlighted line over the text, it's kind of hard to read, so we'll just go down, and when I have this line on something, we're going to be going on the line above it. So gaps are set to, internal are set to 5, so like if I launch another window here, you can see this is the gap in, and you can see gap in and gap out are both set to 5, but the gap in is bigger than the gap out. Well, that's because, like I said in the last video, the gap in is 5 pixels from each border. So there's 5 pixels out from this border and then 5 pixels out from this border, and so total that's 10 pixels in between. So this gap is larger than this gap. So that being said, they're both set to 5, but one looks bigger than the other. The border size I have set to 2 pixels. So not too big of a border, but just enough to dress it up a little bit. I have rounding. I figured out the rounding. It's obviously not a 1 or 0. It is actually a incremental value. You can set to 0, which will give you no rounding. You'll just have square corners, or you could have it set to pretty much anything. And real quick, I'm going to point something out here. You can see right here I have my icon for Simple Screen Recorder up here in the tray. In a second here, we're going to do something, and you'll see that go away, and I'll explain why. But as you can see, I've got rounding set to 25. If we do that and change it to 5, which I like a little better, and we write, then you can see the rounding pretty much is just barely hinted there. And I like the looks of that better. I'm not a huge fan of rounded corners, and so even the little bit isn't my favorite. I really like just the look of the square corner. But I figured just for purposes of this video to kind of show things off and to be a little different for once, I would have a little bit of rounding on the corners. So that being said, that's what that is. So the rounding, you can change it. You just use, it's not 1, 0 for on and off. It is an incremented value. So we have the max FPS set at 60. I left that alone. The next one down is focus when hover. Which is basically focus follows mouse. I covered that before. So 0 and 1. 0 means no, it won't follow the mouse. 1 is yes, it will follow the mouse. So that's just your focus follows mouse setup. I have the mod key set to alt, which is, I'm an alt mod key user, not a super mod key user. Nothing against you super alt or mod key users. That's great. I just have whacked out hands from 25 years of being an automotive technician, so my thumb doesn't like to reach that far, so it's just difficult for me to hit that super key. Alt is right there, and it's a little larger on the keyboard, so it just works better for me. The intelligent transients is basically keeps transients always on top. No unmapped saving, disables saving unmapped windows. No clue what that does. I didn't see anything really about it in the config file. Maybe I just glanced over it. I don't know, but I haven't messed with that, so I'm not sure. This is my auto start stuff. I've got my exec once nitrogen -- restore brings up the same wallpaper each time. If you want to bring up different wallpapers, like you have a wallpaper directory that you put in there, you can always use the nitrogen -- random, I believe, and that will just randomly pick a wallpaper every time you log in. I have PyCom starting at the beginning, and that's it for those. Now the layouts. The layout originally is set to 0, which is dwindle. I changed it to, you can see right here, you can set it to 1, which is master, because 1 is the master, and then you have the stack, which is just so much nicer and better, in my opinion, than the dwindle, which, let's go ahead and show you what the dwindle is. This is something that's more along the lines of BSPWM, because if you start launching Windows, then they just kind of dwindle down. And if I'm being completely honest, like this kind of stuff, what good is stuff like this? I don't know. I don't use it. I don't think it's very efficient, or I don't know. It doesn't work for me. If you use it, great. There's more power to you. If you want this setup and this layout, then you just leave the layout set to 0. If you prefer the master stack, which I believe is a more popular layout, it seems to come on most tiling window managers, then you'd set that to 1 for, again, master. So let's go ahead and do that. Now the no gaps when only, that just was talking about, like I said in the first video, that if you set that to 1, you're not going to have any border, and you're not going to have any gaps when you only have one window open. I have it set to 0, so that way I still have my gaps and I still have a border. Here's my bar here. You can see I've got my bar all set up. It's got some nice colors here. Just a fair warning, the icons and then the data are each separate modules. So you can see right here, I have the bar height set to 18, I have 12-inch pad, and then no tray saving. This is what I was talking about. No tray saving equals 1. I have that turned on. So using this doesn't save the tray between reloads. So basically when something's up here in the tray, like you saw my simple screen recorder icon up there, when I reloaded the configuration file after changing it, then that goes away because it doesn't save it up there between reloads. But that fixes an issue with the bar disappearing, I guess. If you have this set to 0 and it does try to save it, then I guess the bar disappears. Or runs the risk of disappearing. So I just have it set to 1, so that way it doesn't save my tray, but hopefully hopefully things are still recording. I've tested this a couple times, and sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So hopefully I am, and I'm not recording this video speaking to myself for about the 3rd time. That being said, I have my font main set to Hermit. That's the text, and then you have your font secondary. I have set to font awesome, and that's my icons. I have the background set to 00222222. The 00 is transparency. It's fully transparent. So if I go back to Workspace 1 here, you can see it just looks like my modules are floating at the top of my screen. It doesn't look like there's a bar. It just looks like they're floating on top of the wallpaper. I like that look. I had my DWM and my Xmonads set up like that on my previous Arco machine, on my main machine, and I really like the looks of it. I haven't done that yet on my Void setup, but mainly because I'm running Hypr's Lift, and Hypr's Lift is running Polybar, and Polybar, while it does have transparency, it doesn't go fully transparent. Fully transparent to Polybar makes it look a little blurry still. And there could be a way around that I'm just unaware of, so if you know how to do that, let me know, and yeah, because I'd appreciate it. So that being said, the 00 is fully transparent, and the FF right here in the beginning of this one is fully opaque. So we have FF and then FFA 700, which is kind of this goldenrod color for my color high, which is my active window right there. Or excuse me, my active workspace. That's what color high is for your active workspace. And then I have module on the left. I have workspaces, which is this over here. And then I have padding, and then I have the tray. So basically, I have the workspaces, I have padding, and then I'll have the tray when something shows up in the tray. Module right starts on the right all the way and goes this way. So I have the date, and then I have, like I said, I have no icon. This is where the icon would be right here in between these two commas. If I was putting the icon directly in the module with it, but I didn't. I created a second module right here, so I have the date module here, and then right below it I have module right, and then I have the icon, and then I have the colors, foreground and background, and then I have the refresh rate, and then I have the colon. Now you can't put the colon right in here with the icon, otherwise it will error and you won't see your icon. So Phoebe. So you have to make sure you have the parenthesis, or excuse me, the colon at the end here, and not with your icon. Then I have padding on the right, and then I have running my battery, and you can see around my modules I have the little brackets just to kind of break them up and separate them out and make it easier to read them, I guess. So then I run my battery script. And then I have another module with a battery icon, and then I have some padding, and then I have my web, so my internet script, and then I have another icon in another module, and then I have padding, and then I have my volume script, and then I have another module with a volume icon and the colors and the refresh rate, and then I had the window name, the win name module set to be all the way over here next to the workspaces. The problem is that the window name, once it starts getting long, like a lot of times if you Google something or a web page, for some reason the description will show up in the window name, it actually comes over here and it doesn't stop here, it actually overruns and starts going in here and it jumbles everything up. So I turned off the win name module, which is fine because, to be honest with you, I don't ever use them. I don't ever look at it. I don't know why I have it on my other ones. It just, I guess, for decoration. I really should just turn them all off because I don't ever use them. If I want to know the window name on something, I actually just pop my script up and it shows me the window names and workspaces and the whole nine. So, that being said, I turned off the window name. I still have it in here, but I just have it commented out. So, then I have my colors. My active border is the kind of that goldenrod color. And again, it's got FF at the beginning. That's the way these colors work, is you have 0x, and then you have your transparency for the first two letters, and then you have your 6-digit code for the actual color. So active border is the goldenrod color. Inactive border is kind of a gray color. So if I launch another window, you can see here the gray and the goldenrod color. I don't know, again, what the status command is. It says it's depreciated. I couldn't find very much information, if any, on it from what I recall, so I just left that commented out. I could probably just delete it out of there, but I'm going to wait until I've read up a little more and see if there's something I can use it for or not. But anyway, then we have animations. I do have them enabled, and I have the speed set to 7, which again, if you launch another window, you can see it opens pretty quick, but you still get that animation. I noticed when I had it set to 5, a little slower, it takes a little too long for my taste for the window to slide into place. And so 7 was kind of a nice midpoint between 5 and 10, to where 10 it really just whipped in there and you kind of missed the animation. 7 is kind of nice because you still see that animation, but it's quick enough to make it feel like it's not wasting your time. The cheap I have set to 1 because it's highly recommended. Borders I have set to 0. I've tried turning it to 1. I've tried turning it to an incremental number to see what the border animation is. I don't know. I didn't see any difference in it, so if somebody messes with it and figures it out, great. But for me, I couldn't get it to do anything. Now, the workspaces, they say not really recommended, so they really recommend that you leave it to 0, but I turned it to 1 just to see what it does, and it's actually pretty cool. I haven't really had any issues with it, so I guess I'll leave it on until maybe I do have issues. But what that does is if I switch workspaces here, you can see how it kind of slides them in and out. So it slides one over, slides the next one in. Now, maybe they're talking about that kind of orange glitch you see every once in a while when you're switching through workspaces, but I don't know. I don't know what they're worried about. I think it works fine, and so I'm going to leave it. But yeah, it's kind of a neat setting there. Then I have my window rules, which I didn't touch because I don't really mess with window rules, so we're going to leave those as they are. Then I basically have my key bindings. I have my run launchers here, so I have Alt-Shift-D is going to launch my D menu, and Alt-W is going to launch my window script. So nice and easy. Then I have Alt-Shift-Return is going to execute Kitty. Alt-Return is going to execute Alacrity. Alt-Shift-B is Brave, my web browser. Mod-Shift-Q is going to kill any active window. Alt-Shift-C opens up Arco Linux logout so I can shut down or reboot. Then I have, so let's open up a few windows here. Alt-Shift left, right, up or down is going to move windows. So if I have this window here as my focus window and I press Alt-Shift up, it's going to switch it places with that window, and Alt-Shift down will switch it back. Alt-Shift right and left will move it right or left. You can change that to be whatever key you want. Basically, if I do just Alt up and down, it changes focus. So it focuses between the windows. Left and right goes left and right. Up and down obviously goes up and down. So we have that. And then if I have a split like this, if we scroll down to the bottom here, you can see Alt Control up and Alt Control down. So if I have a split like this in my window and I do Alt Control up, basically the highlighted or the active window gets bigger. If I go Alt Control down, the active window gets smaller. Now, that being said, the thing with this is you can see how it kind of glitches out a bit. Like the window stops moving and then takes a second once you stop to jump into place, and the focus is switching between the two once they overlap. So it's got a little bit of bugginess to it. Nothing horrible, but nice way to kind of just be able to resize windows. And yeah, so Alt Control up, Alt Control down is going to be a split ratio. And that's about it. I mean, you got your other basic stuff. Alt Space is going to toggle floating. Alt Shift 1 through 9 is going to move a active window or move a window to another workspace. Alt 1 through 9 is going to switch to different workspaces. I have my volume here set to Alt Shift plus, Alt Shift minus, and Alt Shift M. And that's about it for the configuration. So that being said, let's go ahead and jump over to window 3 here, Workspace 3. And you can see I've got HTOP running. I'm sorry you can't see everything on it, like right here, the numbers that the gentleman wants me to show him. You're not going to be able to read, but what I can say is there is about, on average, 575 to 595 megs of RAM being used with this window manager, with all the animations and everything active as I have it. That being said, I've seen better and I've seen worse. It's not horrible. It's not spectacular. It's not horrible. It's pretty average, I would think. I don't personally pay attention to that kind of stuff because I don't do anything really resource intensive on my machine to be worried about RAM and CPU usage. And again, this is my tester machine, so it's an older CPU and everything, so you can kind of see they're getting a little workout here. But that's why you don't see in my bars, I don't usually really have RAM and CPU and all that up here because I really don't need to watch it. So watching this for this gentleman, I don't really know if that's something he's looking for, if that's good in his opinion or bad in his opinion. Like I said, in my opinion, it's meh, whatever. But just so you're aware, with mine set up as it is, it's averaging about 575 to 595 on the RAM. So not horrible, not great. So let's go ahead and switch to another workspace here, and we'll just kind of take a look at it. So I've got this nice kind of gray and gold color that I just kind of slapped up a wallpaper, and I thought, boy, I kind of like that wallpaper, so let's just go ahead and kind of customize it with that color theme and that color scheme. And so that's kind of what I did. You can see my bars, those colors up there, My D menu plays those colors, and my window switcher script plays on those colors. It's not, I mean, I will say the color scheme, I really like the gold. I'm surprised. I'm not usually an orange gold fan, but I liked it. Especially kind of with the contrast to the gray and the dark gray on there. I think it looks pretty nice. I'm not by any means a quote-unquote ricer, and again, I hate that word. If you use it and you're great with it, that's fine. I'm not saying anything for you or for anybody else, because whatever. I just cannot personally say that word with a straight face. Just the connotation it's had for me in the past, and for me, it's just, I can't legitimately say that word and feel like a grown man. That being said, I do like this customization. I do like this color scheme and this theme I've done on this system. So if you like it, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm not the biggest artistic guy, and so trying to get colors and stuff and make things look pretty. You've seen my other systems; they look nice. I won't think they look bad. I think they look nice. I don't think they look fancy like a lot of these guys can do. Like Linux Cast, that guy makes some great rices. I just can't do it. I tried. He's got some great looking themes on his machine. Some guys are really good at it. Some people are great at it. I'm not. I like mine functional. I like them to just look nice for me and everything, but I think this one turned out pretty good. So let me know what you think. I'm going to try giving it some customization a little bit more of a try, because those videos seem to do rather well. And let's face it, I'm kind of making content for YouTube, so I want to do stuff that gets views, and that seems to be something that gets views. So if you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. Whatever, just tell me what you think. So that being said, that is my Hypr Window Manager setup. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find it entertaining or useful. I will put this stuff on my GitHub and GitLab when I'm finished with it, so it'll be there to grab if you want it. That being said, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Get plenty of rest this weekend. Man, take it easy and just lay back for a bit and breathe in the fresh air. And, I'm praying for all of you. God bless.